The big one that I personally is Weber. That is so Shea Weber. He's injured. What is he? His ankle is.
Yeah, they said like his knee, his thumb, his ankle, everything.
Now I like Weber. I've always liked him. He's what they call a stud. I mean, this guy, he played with all those hurts and broken ankle, and so I'm not knocking Weber, but I just think if you were a Canadian, you see what's the
well, Tampa did that to Kucherov.
Kucherov scoring 1 million goals, getting the MVP and everything, and he doesn't play for the whole year. Now you have Weber, and they go to him and they say, "Look, we saw Kucherov win the MVP and the whole deal. How about you taking the year off? We'll pay you, the usual." And I'm just saying this could happen. And just before the playoffs, you practice with the club, then the whole deal, just to say as Kucherov did. Nobody's seen anything wrong with that. And you come back for the playoffs. What do you think? Now, the problem with that is they're in a tough division. They might not make the playoffs, Tim. Now, who's in
Montreal's with the Leafs, Boston, Tampa, Florida. So you think those 4 teams are probably going to be, because people forget Florida, they finished way ahead of Tampa.
And Toronto.
And then Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit.
And Ottawa is coming on. If they had played the way they did it the halfway through the season, like they did at the end, they would have made the playoffs. So I would be a little careful on that one. But Weber, he is a warhorse, as they say. He'll play hurt, broken ankle, and
but do you think,
I'm just saying that this could happen.
Do you think part of that is though that they have their defense that they like, and they have to protect guys for the upcoming expansion draft, that they're saying all this so Seattle will stay away from them because
I think they'll stay away from them.
They're not protecting them.
I don't think they'll protect them, and Price come up with nobody's. You and I kind of argue about this one. You think that Seattle might take him?
Well, Carey Price, if you have a no move contract, the Seattle can't take you,
and
he waived that, and so now Montreal can keep their backup goalie Jake Allen. They'll protect him. And they think that Seattle won't take Price because he's got 4 or 5 years left on a $10 million contract.
But doesn't that say something that he waived that condition of his contract that he might want to get out of Montreal?
No, he just did that because he knows that Seattle would never take him with that contract to start with. And he knows he's been injured a lot. And he turned it on for the playoffs.
Well, you don't think that, that sometimes the media can get on him and the fans get on Carey Price might... No?
No. He loves Montreal.
If I was Seattle, I'd take him. I would. I mean, maybe he's got 1 year good left on 1 year left, and then buy him out But
no, I wouldn't take him. I'd leave him alone. He's trouble. They don't need trouble right now. Now, the guy that I think that's really made a mistake in Montreal is Daniel. Now, this guy can kill penalties. There's no doubt about it. I think Corey Price had a little bit to do with that.
And Carey Price, too.
Yeah. And they offered him a 6-year contract, $30 million. He got 1 goal in the playoffs. And he's testing the free market. What if he goes back to the GM and says, no, I think I'll take your contract. Ooh, no, wait a minute. Things have changed a little.
Yeah, so say he hits the free market and he only gets offered $4 million, and he goes back to Bergeron and says, "Well, I'll take the 5." Bergeron goes, "No, you can take 4 now."
No, and they know what you're offered in the whole deal. I think he's making a big mistake. He got a 6-year contract. He's a French guy, and the only reason they offered him, and I hate to say this, and it's true, is he's the only French guy on the club.
Yeah.
In Montreal?
Yeah.
When you think about it,
he was the only French guy in the club. And Bergeron offered him a $30 million. $30 million for 6 years, and he got 1 goal in the playoffs. Now, he did kill a penalty. He was good at killing penalties, but...
I don't think you ever played... You didn't pay your penalty killers that much, did you, Dad?
No.
So let me ask you something, Dad. Your best defensive player was Donnie Marcotte.
Oh, yeah. He got 20 goals.
He got 20 goals every year. So how much would he be worth if he's getting $5 million? How much would Donnie Marcotte...
What a joke that he never won that Selke Award. They kept giving it to Gainey. You know, that Selke Award at one time, I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. It was for Mr. Selke, and we always called him Mr. Selke, said, you know, they have all these trophies for the guy that scored the goals. Let's have for a guy like Gainey, who never scores 20 goals. But Marcotte, he had to check Lafleur, who was the best player in the league at the time, and he got 20 goals. Imagine what Donnie Marcotte, nobody's ever heard of him. You know, and everybody's heard.
If Danielsworth, and he was French and he spoke French, so can you imagine what he'd be getting in Montreal.
And he was, and Donnie Marcotte was French too.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
boy,
But he'd be getting $8 million if the guy got one goal, got $5 million.
I think they'll sign Perry, Perry, and I think they'll sign Stahl too. You know, for minimum money. So
Isn't that hard to believe they'd get minimum because and how great they were in the playoffs?
yeah, Corey. I think Corey was their best, one of their best players.
Yeah.
You heard his name mentioned.
they don't think Stahl. They won't.
They won't get Stahl.
No, they don't think. They think they won't sign. I bet you they won't sign Stahl.
I think they signed him a minimum salary boy. So anyhow, Weber. I think the world of Weber. I like the trade. I was the one guy that liked. You know what kills me now, as the guys writing in the paper now. They like that trade with Weber and Subban now, but they didn't like it at the time. But I always liked Weber. I mean, he is a warrior.